Brodes Media.
What is going on, everyone? Before we attack the Eagles conversation, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well. I greatly appreciate it. SeatGeek promo code Brodes is back into effect if you're looking to buy tickets to any NFL game. The NBA is about to come back. The NHL is in action. SeatGeek promo code Brodes, $20 off of your tickets. It's a no-brainer to utilize it. My Twitter account, @Brodes81, that's my personal. Hit the follow button there. And BrodesMedia.com, we're implementing blogs, writing way more for the website. It's a no-brainer. Check it out. Oh, real quickly, I just got out of the shower. Shower sweats going on here. I'm not some psychopath. Just recognize, you'll see it dripping through my hat. I get brutal with that. Okay, enjoy the show now. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. It's a weird Monday, right? Because we're so accustomed to having a game and then Monday morning quarterback overreaction Monday, whatever you want to call it, sneaks up on us and we're so reactionary, we're upset, we're pissed off, we're happy, you name it, depending on the action that we witnessed on the football field. But all we did was see Carson Wentz throw some bombs, albeit against the Houston Texans, but he looked good for a second straight week. Not that I'm surprised, because I knew he was better than the slop that we saw under Doug Peterson with all the injuries and himself performing poorly as well over that last season that he was here in Philadelphia. I knew he was better. I never anticipated 2017 Carson Wentz throughout a 17-game sample size, but I definitely did not expect the miserableness, and I didn't see it last week on Monday Night Football against the Ravens either. Honestly, if their kicker drilled a field goal, we're talking about an epic, unbelievable victory for Carson and that squad after starting out the season the way that they did against some really tough opponents. But I digress. We also watched Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys have an unbelievable effort in Foxborough, and I will tip my cap to New England for battling hard. Mac Jones throws a pick six. He responds with a huge touchdown of his own. Ballsy throw, but it ends up getting taken to the house. It's a tough environment for Dallas, but I'm not surprised that Dak Prescott was making throws and hit CeeDee Lamb that torches Jalen Mills of all people. Everyone today, like for example, and this gentleman, his name's Anthony, he's a phenomenal dude. He comes into Coffee with Brodes, Dallas Cowboys fan, even donated a little bit of cash just to show the support. So thank you so much, Anthony, if you're listening. But he says, how about them Cowboys? And he starts talking about the team, and I'm like, honestly, I'm not surprised. One, they are a better team than that squad in New England, even though Bill Belichick, I think we are accustomed to looking at that logo and then automatically just assuming that there's an insane amount of success behind it with this current regime. But that's not the case when Tom Brady leaves town and ends up going in another direction. But once again, I digress. I knew the Dallas Cowboys were good. I think that they could win on the road like that. It's a tough, hard-earned win that you look at your locker room afterwards and you go, fuck yeah, boys. That was a good one, baby. That was a testament to who we are. That was a character win. Sometimes you chalk that up to, we needed that. We needed to show our toughness. I knew the Dallas Cowboys were good, though. They're clearly going to run away with this division. It's not even close. But I will say, because a lot of controversy here in Philadelphia with who Jalen Hurts is, and I want to read off some numbers, or not numbers. I don't know why I just said the word numbers, but it's an assessment by Greg Cosell, who does a phenomenal job with tape study. He's a big part of Inside the Birds, but he broke down Jalen Hurts a few years ago coming out of the draft, and well, everything's playing out the same exact way that he was talking about when looking at who he is at the quarterback position. With Dak, I was thinking, damn, think about a few years ago and where he is now. He has come a long way, and a lot of that has been through an amazing amount of adversity on and off the field. But when you watch Dak play, the dude's a baller. On the run, rolling to his right, one-legged throws, perfectly executed. It helps when you have that type of firepower. It helps when you have Kellen Moore, who seems to have it totally dialed down, and he knows what the hell he's doing. And Zeke and Pollard and just the whole core. Yeah, they're flying right now, but I'm not surprised by that. I was just appreciating, I guess, just the athlete in Dak, just seeing his growth from an individual perspective. And it makes me wonder, can Jalen Hurts grow as well? It's the chicken or the egg. That's my problem right now with Nick Sirianni. Is this Nick Sirianni's playing this way and calling the games this way because you have to with Jalen Hurts? Or is he putting Jalen Hurts in an uncomfortable position that's not helping him out? Well, I mean, there's no doubt that RPOs is a style that benefits Jalen Hurts. But without the run game and first off trying to run the ball through the RPO, it's just not a very successful way. Are you going way too extreme in this one area that, yeah, I mean, in theory, RPOs can help him, but when you go with the shotgun for, and this is all you do nonstop, well, at some point it becomes a disadvantage because this is the NFL, and teams recognize that. So let's get into Nick Sirianni, shall we? Or Jalen Hurts, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's Monday. I'm all over the map. As I alluded to, you're not in your normal rhythm because we're not breaking down any action. All right, so this is Greg Cosell on some of the Jalen Hurts, I guess I could call it a report card, if you will. He's a shotgun quarterback in a highly schemed offense. Very few snaps under center. A delivery with an elevated delivery with a bit of a windup. Too much unnecessary and wasted movement. Tendency to break down and leave the pocket prematurely. Limited feel in the pocket and strong tendency to move. A pocket leaver much more than a pocket mover. And more of a see-it, throw-it passer. A lot of this is dating back to what you saw in college film, and you try to take all that information, take that package, and apply it to what he can do in the NFL. This was stated how long ago? This was stated when you're talking about the draft, okay? This was his draft. This is Greg Cosell's college scouting report on Jalen Hurts. He's not doing a good job when it comes to reading the plays, reading his progressions. He's moving out of the pocket early. Like, all of this is true. These are legitimate football reasons why I have concerns. Now, Lamar Jackson, he learned how to throw the football a lot better over years. I'm mentioning Dak Prescott's growth. We could talk about the inaccuracy issues of, and I'm not talking about the strong arm, just the inaccuracy issues of the quarterback in Buffalo and Josh Allen in his first year compared to now. But with that said, I mean, there seems to be a little bit of a difference here in who Jalen Hurts is and then the ceilings of these other quarterbacks and the arm strength in these other quarterbacks. I'm rooting for him like no other. He's got all the little things about him that are just so perfect in a leader of men. There's a reason why these veterans are looking around going, this dude's it. This guy's got it. I want to play for him, right? I mean, there's a reason why. He brings off that energy. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have the skill level to do it, I'm starting to feel more and more, wow, it goes back to what I was saying with Jonathan Gannon, where I could put both blame here on the roster construction in Jonathan Gannon, which would go on Howie Roseman, and then Jonathan Gannon's not doing enough with the resources he was given. I'll say this about Nick Sirianni. He is clearly limited with who Jalen Hurts is, and they seem to be dummying this down as much as possible. But with that said, you can also do more than what you are getting out of Jalen Hurts, even with the struggling issues that he has. We watched you go up and down the field against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they struggled in the red zone, but they were moving up and down. We've watched you move the ball against teams, so there should be no reason against a extremely banged up Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that's on their fourth and fifth corners. Richard Sherman leaves, that you can't get any first downs, right? You see the difference here of we just need to see it flow and makes it, and we've seen it. We've seen it. So when you're going up against another horrendous defense, you should be able to be a little bit more efficient at what we're seeing. Now, I saw this with Reuben Frank, and I tweeted. I took a screenshot of it, of the tweet, because I thought it was fascinating. All right, so he goes in on this Nick Sirianni stuff because, you know, there's this report about, well, I mean, Nick Sirianni's not on the hot seat. There's no way he's going to fire him. No one's talking about actually firing Nick Sirianni 6 games in. We're questioning what's going on. We're questioning his identity and who he is, and so is he, apparently, because of that press conference on Friday the other day. But ultimately, I mean, that's just fugazi and going way too extreme here. We knew that there would be a lot of learning curves involved. But anyway, Andy Reid went 2-7 with 4 blowout losses to open up his first season back in 1999, and that worked out okay. Doug Peterson's first team in 2016 lost 9 out of 11 games at one point. And don't act like you knew both of those guys were going to be successful. Everybody wanted to run them out of town too. Now, Reuben Frank continues, said the biggest thing this team needs to show over the next 4 weeks is that they're still fighting. That's the challenge for any struggling team, but especially one with a head coach without a proven track record. How long will they continue to buy in? And I will be honest with you, and I've been on the record talking about this before, I do wonder what it's going to look like against the Jets, Washington football team, the New York Giants, right? It's probably going to look better, but then we're going to have the debate of, well, they just look good against crappy teams. What does that tell you? It tells you they're not as good as Kansas City, the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, but you are better than Washington, New York, and the Washington football team. Where does that put you? I mean, we got to see context. We need to see how everything plays out. And I don't think they're going to win every single one of those games. They're definitely not good enough to just automatically assume you're winning 2 out of 2 against these teams, unfortunately, like we have seen in years past. But, it'll be interesting to see how things open up when the schedule opens up, because it's clear, just like the Indianapolis Colts with Carson Wentz, they started the season out with a lot of tough opponents, with a lot of hard teams that you had to face. Oh, yeah, they're going to go beat Tampa. No, 2-4 makes a lot of sense, but they have winnable games, and how do they look when that is the case? And I'm probably if they just win with the skin of their teeth and it looks ugly and they don't look like they have some sort of rhythm with their offense. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assess what I see on that Sunday afternoon. But, it's just something to look at as you watch this team fight for the head coach moving forward, if they can, of course. So, everyone's talking about, I had a little bit of a debate with Tyrone Johnson on 97.5 The Fanatic this Saturday. I've been hopping on with him on the Tyrone Johnson Show at Bet Rivers Casino in Philadelphia. It's been amazing. It's been real fun. We'll be doing it again this Saturday, so I'm really looking forward to it. But we got into a debate because he says, right now, look at this roster, and it's egregious. I'm like, you're absolutely right. But I also don't think you're set up for that much of a disaster, knowing what you have in the Miami Dolphins losing to Jacksonville on Sunday morning in London. That's huge for the draft compensation. Big-time A-plus trade by Howie Roseman to move back in the draft, acquire that, get Devontae Smith as well. I mean, that was great execution. You have Indianapolis, which I'm not even mad at the win. You need to keep them winning. Not too much, right? Not too many wins, but you need to have them winning to keep Carson Wentz and that whole drama where, you want to play him. If you're out for the count with 4 games to go, 3 games to go, maybe they play a game where they play the mental game, or actually it would be a physical game as well, is keeping him off the field so that snap count lives in their favor or something along those lines. You can't roll any of that out of the equation if it'll help their football team. So wins are important for them too. You don't want them to just lose every single game. My point is this, though. Cap money coming off the books, all that money for Carson Wentz off the books. You're not set up for as much of a disaster as you think you are. And oh, by the way, here's another situation. It's a lot easier to be different the following year than you think, especially with all that compensation, as I just alluded to, all that assets, cap space, and draft picks. The New York Giants last year, everyone was talking about how great their defense will be for years to come. They stink. The Washington football team, oh, look at this elite defense. They're going to be sensational. Ron Rivera, Chase Young. Their defense stinks. But last year, they were the hottest thing in the world. Right now, the Eagles stink. Right now, the Eagles are a problem. But let's not act as if it's so insanely difficult in this sport when you have the assets I just mentioned to flip things around rather quickly. Now, here comes the argument. Jalen Reagor, Andre Dillard, drafting Jalen Hurts in the second round when you needed help in other positions. I'm not going to defend what they've done as of late. What they've done as of late has not been the level that it needs to be. I do like the one draft of Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, Josh Sweat, and Jordan Mailata. I don't think that draft specifically gets a lot of love. You could see the difference in Avonte Maddox playing the corner slot position. He looks way more comfortable, and he's been making stellar plays. He's been solid in those regards. I don't think that gets enough love. But ultimately, yeah, you know what? You've missed more times than you need to hit right now, and that's why we're in the predicament that we are in. But I'll go back to saying this, and maybe I will be open to admitting this, saying that maybe Jeffrey Lurie's just lost his cool and lost his idea and lost his concept as an owner. But they've been around the Andy Reid era and the Donovan McNabb era of nice, solid success. They've been around Doug Peterson winning culture, winning a Super Bowl. Hell, the Chip Kelly thing was a disaster because he was a terrible person. But the hire, he was the hottest guy coming out of college. He was the new hottest item, and he won 10 games twice. So football production, while he made some horrendous general manager decisions, which, sure, I mean, he was handed the keys, so that has to go on the blame of somebody. But ultimately, football-wise, they've been around success to know that this isn't success. Right now, what they have. So I'm willing to give them the opportunity to fix this. Maybe I get boned by I'm allowing the sample size of being around success to fool me. But I'll take that shot over anything else. Because I go back to, look, I'd fire. But if this doesn't work with cap and draft capital, if they fail here, fine, let's go new. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you guys are just the worst organization ever for giving up on Howie Roseman. No, I get it. At some point, you're very successful, and then you end up needing a change. It's like, I always like to tie this back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You know how many Steelers fans say that Mike Tomlin's the dumbest coach? Oh, he doesn't know how to manage the game. His plays are up. You know what's happening? Big Ben sucks. You know what's going on? Your franchise quarterback is a disaster right now, which is limiting what you can do. Mike Tomlin's an excellent coach, but the Pittsburgh Steelers fans right now would act like he has no idea what he's doing, and he's a moron, which is just not the case. You're not giving enough credit for the guy. See, it's funny because me and Tyrone actually had the same game plan of, if Howie fails, that's fine, but that's fine, let's move on after we see what he does in this next step. We have the same timeline. It's just the tone surrounding the timeline that's different. Howie has had an insane amount of success in this league. But as of this new era of Eagles football, it's been a bit of a disaster and it's been a downfall, and they have to clean it up. And if they don't, then fine, we'll just move forward. But I wonder how much of this, too, is just like, is Nick Sirianni at some point saying to himself, damn, I knew that they were going to have an impact here. I knew that they would be involved in what we're doing offensively because they had the meetings, right? And they were wowed and floored by who Nick Sirianni was and his ideas and beliefs, apparently. But, how much of this is he's sitting around going, I have no idea how to work around this. They're giving me all these numbers. They're giving me all this data, all this information, and it's just not a recipe for success. And then at what point do you keep taking it, or do you fight back a little bit? It would be naive for me to just assume that nobody's in his ears whatsoever. We question how much of a puppet hire this was at the time. So I sit here today and I still wonder. So if we're trying to blame the quarterback for not being good enough, which is nobody's fault, it's not for a lack of trying. He just doesn't have as much skill as he needs to be a very successful quarterback in this league. With Nick Sirianni, same thing. Are we yelling at him? Is he too early in this? And I think all of them have a play, for sure. But with Nick Sirianni, I'm just curious, is he shocked by, wow, okay, this is way worse than I thought. I figured they would communicate with me. They would let me know what they want to do. They would let me know how they want to kind of push forward and what type of game plan they like and what they think would be best due to analytics with our quarterback and our wide receivers. But I didn't realize it would be to this level. And if so, how do you handle that? You're a young guy. You got your first nod in the NFL. Do you piss ownership off and then maybe you ruin your relationship with others around the league? Or do you stand up for yourself if this is the case, which allows you to kind of be like, no, this isn't working, Jeff. This isn't working, Howie. Now, I don't anticipate that happening. Let's be realistic. I'm not sitting here today telling you that that's where I see this franchise going, with Nick Sirianni putting his testicles on the table, putting his balls right on Jeffrey Lurie's desk and saying, this sucks. I want to win. This is going on my record. We have to do things better. I don't expect that to happen. That would be fucking awesome, though. That would be amazing. That would be outstanding. I would respect it. But then you better have the answers if that's the case. And I don't think Nick Sirianni has the answers. I just don't. I don't think he does. I mean, I'm willing to give him, obviously, the opportunity and whatnot. But, when he says he doesn't know the identity, that's foolish. You think the Pittsburgh Steelers know what their identity is? You think the New England Patriots, now with Tom Brady, it was a different story, but if you didn't fit the organization's values, if you didn't fit the beliefs and the concepts, guess what? You're gone. You're out of here. We'll be moving in another direction. Thank you very much for coming. Now, it doesn't have to be that strict and that ballsy, because Ramadi asked Nick Sirianni a question the other day about, is it the chicken or the egg concept? What we've been having this debate on is whose fault is it more? And he said, you don't want to go too extreme with this, right? There's obviously concepts that he values because of the RPO game and what Jalen Hurts has done in the past. At the same time, You can't just say, this is my scheme, and if you don't fit it, we're done with you. You have to work around it. And I agree. See, the thing is, Nick Sirianni is saying everything right. He really is. He's not saying everything right. Let me rephrase that. There are times where, like all off season long, I'm going to put my players in the right positions. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, he was saying the right things. The execution has just been insanely poor. And then we wonder, is the execution insanely poor because of everything and all the drama that's happening above him with the ownership? So it's just one big trickle-down effect. And even though I've been more positive than not on the ownership. Now, I think right now it's clear that they're in a state of dysfunction. I guess I just value the fact that they've been around success before to know that this is getting out of hand. And once they recognize, like, hey, this is not working. These ideas, these beliefs that we've been throwing on the coaches with the analysts, this is not getting us to where we want to be. But there's a whole lot of this as well. I bring up Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Baltimore with Joe Flacco, now with Lamar Jackson. I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson. I love the way that he plays the game and throwing the ball. The ability to throw the ball is just magnificent. When we talk about these organizations, because you could say, well, yeah, but look how much success they've had. They might only won one Super Bowl, but 10-win season, 11-win season, 12-win season. You're right. But they're also having a franchise quarterback. Look at this organization. Before Carson Wentz had the big debacle and the big brain hiccups for a season, and when he was injured, Carson Wentz, look what you did when you had a franchise quarterback. Let's date back to Donovan McNabb. Look at what happened when you have the franchise quarterback. I think a lot of this stems from not having the franchise quarterback. Now, who's to blame? Well, Howie Roseman did a magnificent job to go get Carson, but the front office as a whole played a major role in the downfall of Carson Wentz as well. So praise, and then you get a little bit of a smack in the face for the toxicness that was in play. Now, there's a lot, obviously, that's happening here, and it's hard to fully embrace it all, digest it all, because it's so bonkers, but it's wild. It's just wild. And I do want to tell you about DraftKings before we get to Elaine Johnson's return. DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, NFL fans hungry for a big win this weekend? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, has you covered. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and if they do, you win $200 in free bets. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, it's that simple. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also get skin in the game with same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Brodes. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets if they win. You can win with promo code Brodes this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So Elaine Johnson. Elaine Johnson returns, which is very big for this team. And obviously we knew something was up, right? He released a statement today, and basically I will read that out to you right now. We knew it was going to be something serious. If Elaine Johnson's missing that amount of time, you knew it was going to be something that impacted his life pretty heavily. This is his statement. I would like to thank everyone for their understanding and support over the last 2 weeks. I appreciate the positive notes and messages as I've worked hard to restore my personal life. Depression and anxiety are things I've dealt with for a long time and have kept hidden from my friends and family. If you're reading this and struggling, please know that you are not alone. I am excited to rejoin my teammates and coaches. I'm grateful for the entire Eagles community and look forward to continuing to play in front of the best fans in the world. Hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. So, first off, it's not easy to admit this. It's not easy to go through this. So I'm happy that, one, he feels like he's in a better spot now to return and join his team and rejoin the community and all. That is very massive. And also, the fact to share your story. We're actually going through another scenario right now with Kevin Hayes of the Flyers and his brother, Jimmy Hayes, who passed away. Very, very sad story that happened in the hockey community. And his family has released the information that there were a lot of drugs that were involved, and he was addicted to pain medication because he got injured, and he had to take the pain medication. He had a problem, and it's the awareness of, look, this happens, and it's okay that it happens. Let's help you. We want to help you. We want to help everybody out there that is going through the same scenarios. It's a very powerful message that I just love so much, and I'm very happy for Elaine Johnson that he's in a better spot right now, and he can use this platform to really help everybody else that's going through. We all do in some ways. Some it's more harsh than others and all, but it's just the power of the message of it's okay to not be okay. And I'm just, thrilled that he's getting better. He's getting in a better place now, and there's a lot more to this on the outside of football level, way more than the actual football level on the field. But there is an element, too, of him being back and playing right tackle. Now, we don't exactly know if he's just going to play this Sunday or not. Maybe this is just the next step of being back in the atmosphere and he's not ready to compete yet. We don't necessarily know that. We don't have that information. But if he is playing right tackle, you can slide Jordan Mailata back to left tackle and get this offensive line back intact. It feels not right, though, I'll be honest with you, as I'm sitting here talking about what does this mean for the impact of the offensive line and the running game and Jalen Hurts. It doesn't feel right knowing that there's a much bigger issue here, so I don't want to dive too deep into it, but there is a football element, too, of, helping out this team, leadership, locker room presence, making sure you're fighting and battling for the guys in front of you, and with Doug Peterson, they all stood up, whether it was Brandon Graham, Elaine Johnson, Jason Kelsey. That leadership quality was so massive, and I think this only intensifies it even more, knowing that, look, let's go out, let's play for Lane, baby, let's go. Let's go. Let's do it for one another because we're a family here, and I think the way the Eagles handled it, it was the same exact way of nothing but respect and just everything that is going on, even with Zach Ertz being traded and the way that he felt about this organization, this city, the impact that it had on his life, the way he was treated here, the way the fan base just loved him and embraced him in every single moment. We're doing the same exact thing here with Elaine Johnson throughout this process. All the storylines are obviously different and in their own way. One's a trade, one's a mental situation with Elaine Johnson, but it's all the same in terms of how we respect you so much and how we embrace you as one of ours and you embrace us as a part of you, and we want nothing but the best, and we support you and love you guys all so much. So with Lane, I just really commend him for stepping out and saying, yeah, look, this is what happened. This is why I needed to go back. I was battling with something that family, friends didn't know about, and they needed to know about, and I needed to become a better person and get through this, and I cleared my head, and here we go. Let's play some football. So nothing but respect, and I'm excited to see him back out there and in a healthier spot. So with that being said, that's kind of what I have today for the Philadelphia Eagles as we kind of wait the whole week here to play the Las Vegas Raiders. And we'll get into X's and O's and all that juiciness about going to Vegas. It opened up at a 3-point line, which screams the Eagles have a fighting chance. You didn't know what would happen because of the John Gruden news and how would they play. Well, they steamrolled over the Denver Broncos. Not that I thought that they were a great football team by any means. They're falling in that Carolina Panthers spot, if you will, where, hey, strong start, and then reality hits when you start playing better teams and you just the season settles in. Your body fatigue, mental toughness in terms of on the football field and all, and physical, you don't have enough skill to actually win all those football games, things like that. They're falling back into that territory. But Derek Carr, he's a leader, man. I'll never forget that one. I think it was that Monday Night Football game, that crazy, insane, epic game, whether that was Monday night or Sunday night. I think it was Monday night game. And afterwards, all he did, this guy comes into work 6 a.m., throws, he's catching all my throws, I'm passing the ball, he's there 6 a.m. This guy, the leadership of Derek Carr is sensational. I think he's going to play a major role on who this Vegas team is going to be with all the drama that's going on with their head coach in the league. They started out week 1 here without the head coach, though, very strong, and I wonder how they support that, how they back that up for game 2 without John Gruden when the Philadelphia Eagles come to town, which is going to be bombarded, may I add, with a ton of Eagles fans. So that's where I'll leave you there. Before we head out of here, let me tell you about Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of industry experience, they are home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. At Orbit, they're dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. Orbit also provides water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, electrical upgrades, new roofs, heating and cooling, and so much more. Make sure you check out their information at orbitenergy.us or call 800-836-3987 for more information. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.